So this is a pretty traditional picture of DevOps, right? If you notice, there's a test phase in this. And the emphasis is really on the right side of it. So when I look at this, I kind of think about that testing isn't a phase. We need to think about it a little bit different. When I hear people talk about DevOps, I hear, the buzzwords. They talk about continuous delivery and deployment. They talk about testing in production. Some people which kind of get scared when they hear that term. But mostly they talk about the deployment pipeline and they talk about tools. What tool are you using for DevOps? And that's what I hear. But what DevOps really is, it's about values and principles to help us address business drivers, right? We use some of the practices from that previous slide. We use some of the tools, but they help us to accomplish delivering our products, right? Ones that are valuable to the customer. These things that I've got on this slide, small batches, building quality in, time to market, all of those things are the same things we talk about when we say agile, but the focus in DevOps also brings operations into the picture so that we have more consistency in our delivery. We think about the infrastructure of the system as well. Now, in this slide, I've got supports continuous testing and delivery. And I've underlined the word continuous because that word it's a great word, really is, but it's been hijacked, taken over by the tool companies to mean automation. And so tried to think of a new word, and that's where the idea of holistic came in, because holistic is just bigger and it means more. It feels better to me, actually. Now, Dan Ashby took the continuous DevOps loop. He didn't like the phase testing either. So he took it and kind of morphed it into this. And it's a really good blog post that he's written on here. So please read it. It's great. But he started this model and we call it, we test here and here and here and here. But I think he put a little bit too much emphasis on the development part, the building, the branching, the merging, the coding kind of thing. So I made a few modifications to what I think the actual infinite loop should look like. So I put a little bit more emphasis on the understanding of what we are building, because it doesn't matter how well we build it, how good our practices are, how fast we deliver, if we deliver the wrong thing. So this loop has, it's, if you wanted to think about it, the discovery, planning, understanding, build, go around to the other side, and we think about deploying, releasing, observing, and learning, and then start all over again. There's no time associated with this loop. We might go really fast through the cycle if the story or a feature is small, we know it well, or maybe we go really slow because it's new functionality with a lot of unknowns. So the customer journey, or our journey, I guess, would start with that discover. Now, this model doesn't take into account whether you're looking at the big picture or individual chunks, like a story. So it's you can use it for different kinds of things, whatever you're developing. Now, I've put small pauses in here to show that we should stop and think. For example, if we deploy to our test environment and our smoke test fails, we should stop, think about why did it fail, fix that before we move on. So stopping and reflecting, it's not a stage gate, but just to pause and reflect. Do we have it right up until this point? Right? And I haven't put in any feedback cycles in here because it, gets messy when you complicate it too much. Simple is best for models.